I want to talk to you today about how you can get to the next stage in your musical development. And what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where you are currently and we're going to find a way to get you to the next stage. I think that it's really important when you're just starting out or when you're advanced or when you get stuck to be able to have somebody to come in and say, okay, look, the solution is easy. This is what you need to do. The solutions are almost always easy. But the problem is you need somebody that has a lot of experience. You need somebody that really knows how to help you. Someone that's worked with thousands of students. Someone that has seen just about every issue under the sun when it comes to these specific skills that I teach: aural skills, music theory, certain instruments, musicianship training, and composition. You need someone that can say, hey, I can help you, and this is how we're going to get you over this speed bump, this little hump, this thing that's preventing you from moving forward. And it's always fairly easy. So I'm excited to offer this range of personalized instruction from aural skills to composition. If you don't yet have a powerful ear, okay, developing the ear takes time. We know this. We know that developing the ear is not something that can be done overnight. When I taught in the university, I would always tell my students, I can teach you theory in a few weeks. But building a powerful ear, it takes time. And it's not what we typically learn in college where, okay, can you hear a perfect fifth, a perfect fourth, a major third, a minor third? The most important thing with developing the ear is being able to hear inside music. So this is the first thing that I would assess with you. Do you have the necessary ear to benefit from whatever musicianship skills or activities you're engaged in? If you play the trumpet or the euphonium or the piano, are you able to listen to the orchestra? Are you able to listen to your own playing in the right way? Are you hearing what a more experienced musician might hear? Are you catching the subtleties that audiences don't necessarily recognize, but they hear? We're going to enhance your pitch accuracy if necessary, rhythm recognition, and melodic dictation, and just get you to hear more clearly what you're doing in music. The next thing that I may offer you is music theory. And to some extent, music theory does illuminate what has happened in the past. But music theory is not sort of this skill that is unrelated to the practice. The goal with music theory is to learn it in a way where you can intuit it, where you can start to actually hear some of these devices that composers have used over the centuries, and where it becomes intuitive. So you're playing and you suddenly recognize, oh, that's a cadential 6/4, or you hear a pachelbel sequence, or you hear some sort of chord progression like a descending fifth or an ascending second chord progression, and you recognize it and understand at that point that what's happening in the music is not necessarily functionally important. It doesn't matter if we're going from a 1 to a 2 to a 3 chord. What matters is that the composer is now doing some sort of prolongation. So we can talk about how music theory is important, and I can help round out your understanding of why it's important. I'm going to make sure that your approach to studying is correct, and I'm going to make sure that the way and the methods that you're using are actually going to work for you. This is where it benefits you to study independently. There is no course on the planet that can look at what you're doing and say, the way you're approaching is less effective, and this is what we can do to make it more effective. The goal here is to help you understand the right approach for learning music theory, and so that you can understand how it can be practical as it relates to what you want to accomplish. We also are going to deal with aural skills as they relate to what you want to accomplish, and instrumental lessons as necessary to help you. All these things are going to help you as a musician. The goal with composition lessons, the way I teach it, is to help you understand what it is that you need to develop your compositions. The idea of coming up with a melody and inspiration and all that is really important. The ability to sort of notate and create your ideas intuitively is very important. But often what a lot of people do, and this is a very important statement, so let it sink in. A lot of people will create an idea. They'll create 4, maybe 8 measures, a single melody, and then they don't know where to go from there. Or if they do start to develop a composition, they'll say, okay, I got a melody, I'm going to have a different idea now. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the original idea. And they're using a basic idea of form. But what composers need to understand is that the material for each piece is going to be in the first 8 measures. This is not a new concept. What is new is how do you develop those ideas? How do you go from creating a simple variation or ornamentation of your idea to a true development of your idea? And this is a very subtle thing, and it's going to depend on what you present, whatever it is that you come up with as a composer. So this is very individualistic. We can show you examples of other composers and how they develop their music. I can show you how Mahler's First Symphony is basically based on the idea of a perfect fourth. It really is entirely structured on the perfect fourth. We can do that, but that only shows you how Mahler did that. It doesn't explain how you can do it in your music. So that's what we're going to do. If you're a composer, I'm going to show you how you can take what already exists and develop it in a way that makes sense.